the exhibition is called Freehold. I first when I came to St Albans, I've been in St Albans a few times, but this time when I was asked to put a proposal for this big exhibition, when I came there, I got really taken by estate agencies, or is that how they're called? Yeah, estate agents, and how expensive these houses were, and the aspiration about owning a house. And the UK has also quite an obsession about owning houses and wanting to possess this piece of land and this house where you live and you grow as a family and you put all your dreams in it. And so I wanted to touch on that. And then because I work with materials that relate to the home anyway, and the home is a subject that is quite natural to me, and I work with domestic environments, and I work a bit with, my works are become a bit of a social commentary as well. I thought to call it Freehold was a good way of approaching the aspiration of owning a house in St Albans as a whole. The first approach was basically when I came to St Albans, and I saw St Albans as this aspirational town with the Abbey, you know, quite posh, quite where people wanted to live, and people that want to go out of London, they can't afford living in London. So St Albans is it's a commuters town as well. So that was really the first very visceral way of looking at St Albans. Also because I live in Bedford, which is a bit further away and a bit not as posh. So it's like, oh, why does people live here? So that combined with my own approach to visual arts and what my work is in the studio naturally, which has to do with domestic environment, has to do with the materials within that environment and social commentary, and touching in broader social cultural issues as a female, but only as a female and as a Spanish person in another country. So it just touches in quite a lot of key things of the individual, how you feel, how you relate to the world. So yes, St Albans was that very visceral approach of like the housing thing, wanting to own, wanting to live there, wanting to commute there, etc. So the works are, the materials that I use for the work are mainly materials that you can use in the home, and that as a woman you're always dealing with. There's some works that will be made with soap, some other works will be made with hair, but as the exhibition is called Freehold, so it has to do with these aspirations of owning a house, and again the environment of the house and the home as a complete universe as well. So yeah, the materials hair, soap, there's going to be also brick powder. So this is a brick that we've smashed and we've converted into powder, and with that we're making drawings. And those drawings are actually the shapes of the land that you buy when you buy a house. So they are all materials that are interconnected, but through the meaning and through whatever function they have in that home, in that house. There will also be a dollhouse as well that has to do with, you know, I use a lot of dollhouse furniture for my work as well, and again just keeps on going around the home, and miniatures as well, which I find quite interesting. So yeah, the materials are basically calling for the theme of the home in one way or the other, and it has to do with, they're quite obsessive materials as well. It has to do with cleanliness and with these actions that you do around the house as a female of someone living in the home, and making sense of what the home is. In terms of techniques, for example, the techniques that I use for the works, they range from very traditional sculptural techniques. For example, in order to make the floor tiles with the reproduction of St Albans, the Abbey, I had to make molds, and I had to make just the traditional silicone molds in sculpture, and then first silicone mold, and then it had to be a plaster mold, and then again we would we would use the silicone mold to pour the soap in order to make these tiles. So I combine, and then at the same time the head drawings they use techniques from wig making. I had to learn how to make wigs in order to be able to develop this technique to be able to attach the hair in a specific way, and in order to make these drawings. So the way I approach techniques of what I'm making sometimes is also through craftsmanship. So I've learned the craft that I need in order to make the work that I want to make. So the wig making was amazing because it's quite a crazy craft. You're dealing with hairs just one by one, you thread them, you knot them. So yeah, it's not a technique that is traditionally sculptural, but is a very beautiful thing to do, and I'm sure I'll use it as well in other works in the future. The preparation for the exhibition has been long and time consuming. And quite a lengthy process of what am I making first of all, and then how long is it going to take to make this. As you can see in the exhibition, there is tiles, there's a lot of tiles, there are more than 200 tiles, there are soap blocks, there's more than 1,200 blocks, I think. So all that, gathering the materials, installing the materials, deciding the scale of everything, deciding the works. So it's been quite a lengthy process, and I think through that lengthy process as well, I learn about the materials, I learn what the materials need, and sometimes you tweak the final work until it becomes what it becomes at the end. So it's been a 3-4 months of preparing, how much testing things, because the soap has been a very difficult material to work with. You can transform it, but you cannot stick it to anything because soap won't stick. So it's been challenging, how to create these, larger structures to achieve that obsession that I want to, or that image that I want to achieve.
UH Galleries has worked in close partnership with the Museum of St Albans to realise this project with Arabelle. We're particularly grateful to Kat Newley for all the involvement she's had in supporting Arabelle to put this project together. Arabelle won the Eastern Approaches Open exhibition that UH Galleries held in December 2014. The winner of that exhibition every year gets the opportunity to develop a new solo show for this gallery space. Arabelle has been preparing for the exhibition since February. You've already visited her in her studio and had a sense probably of the kinds of materials, techniques, processes that she's been using to create some of the artworks that make up this installation. She also spent considerable time in the archive room at the museum, going through various documents, photographs, drawings, to kind of find things that she was interested in and drawn to. We can perhaps describe Arabelle's exhibition as a single sculptural installation, one piece of sculpture that sits within the middle of the gallery space. Arabelle has designed the layout of the actual structure itself, and each of the alcoves hosts its own group of artworks or single artwork that explores a particular idea or theme within the whole installation.
Hi, my name's Aaron and I'm the art technician. My job's been to liaise and work with Arabelle on sort of realising what she wanted to construct for the show. The base, so as you can see in the film previously, the construction's made of stud walls, sort of mirroring what you'd get in any domestic sort of environment, and yeah, but the walls are non-traditional in the sense that they're not built at right angles, they're all sorts of funny angles, and there's corridors that are probably too narrow for domestic use, things like that. So the piece behind me here is called Property Ladder, and it's essentially it's a kind of a distorted domestic staircase leading up to a doll's house. The construction is simple joinery, but it's all at angles, so that's the only difficult aspect of it. But it's all based on supported by stud walls. So it's using techniques you'd have to build partition walls and staircases in your house, but they are slightly distorted.
I'm Seb, I'm the other art technician, and I've been painting the exhibition here, and I've been using paints that Arabelle herself has had specially mixed that are of the Victorian style that are chosen to reflect domestic spaces.
Right, so here we are, 2 days to go, still setting up. The sew came in different tones, so we're trying to sort that one out. Just today I got my last 10 boxes, so hopefully I can finish this work. And then all the rest, just cracking on and making sure that everything is right on time for the private view on Thursday, and quite excited. It looks amazing. Just super like, yeah.